Corinne Deppendahl, and today I will be presenting to you Winslow Homer. About Homer. Homer was born into an old New England family. He was also born second of the three sons of Charles Savage Homer and Harita Benson Homer. Homer was born on February 24th of 1836 in Boston, Massachusetts. For the first few years, Homer was raised in Boston, Massachusetts, and then later, at the age of 6, him and his family moved to the rural Cambridge location. Homer was said to have had a happy country childhood. And pictured is Cambridge, also known where Harvard University is located. This is a more recent photo. When Homer and his family lived here, it wasn't as a populated location. More about Homer and his early career. Henrietta, Homer's mother, supported Homer and his artistic inclinations, as she was also a painter. Homer's father was a restless businessman who ended up selling the business to follow into the California gold rush. He is also the one who found the commercial printing ad and thought that it would be a good start to Homer's career. So Homer began work as a commercial printmaker in Boston and then New York, where he later moved to in 1859. In the spring of 1861, he briefly studied the art of painting. Homer worked as a lithographer for 2 years, and when given the opportunity to join the staff of Harper's Weekly, he declined. Homer was more of a person that wanted to be his own boss, and was stated, "From the time I took my nose off that lithographic stone, I have had no master and never shall have any." Homer spent the next 2 decades as an illustrator for magazines such as Harper's Weekly and Ballew's Pictorial. Homer's Civil War creations. Homer's mother wanted to send Homer to Europe to study art painting, but Harper's Weekly gave Homer the chance to document the Civil War, which was a great honor, much like a drummer boy. At the time, Homer painted images did not receive that much attention. And that's still kind of true today, as when we think of Winslow Homer, we think of paintings of the ocean and things like that. This is one of the images that he created. More about Winslow Homer and the climb of his career. Although Homer had some help from his mother, and for a short time school, he was the most part self-taught with the art of painting. Homer attended National Academy of Design in 1863. He attended for about 4 years. During this time, Homer was living in a New York studio and traveling about. Homer also took a trip to France that lasted about a year in 1866. And even though he was persuaded and influenced to follow in the same way that the French painted, he stuck to his American roots. Although it was said that when Homer returned, his color palette did get much brighter. Homer never married and was very secretive and protective of his personal life. He is quoted saying the following, "I think that it would probably kill me to have such a thing appear, and as the most interesting part of my life is of no concern to the public, I must decline to give you any particulars in regard to it." After Homer's death, a friend of his went to say that Homer had the usual number of love affairs. Homer had no children. Homer died in his home in Maine at the age of 74. Leading into the second part of this presentation, who was Winslow Homer as a painter? Winslow Homer has also been named one of the greatest American painters of the 19th century, and is often referred to as the American Monet. Homer was an artist of all the sorts, such as oil painting, watercolor, and wood crafting. But he's best known for his landscape pieces and marine subjects. Homer was part of the movement realism. Realism is sometimes referred to as naturalism. Realism is the attempt to represent subject matter in a truthful way, without the use of artificial fictional elements. Homer used most of his current surroundings as his inspiration for his paintings. However, while Homer lived in New York and surrounding areas for some time before settling into Maine, he stuck to painting rural landscapes such as prairies, valleys, oceans, and more. Most of Homer's paintings consist of landscapes and marine scenery, though Homer has portraits of men, women, children, along with animals and objects and events. Amy Castle said it best: Winslow Homer's work provides an irresistible pull into a powerful world where men are humbled by nature's beasts and struggle with their own. And these are some of Winslow Homer's work. This one is The Fog Warning, The Blue Boat, The Veteran in a New Field. About Homer and his earliest artworks. Before Homer moved to New York in 1859, him and his family moved to the Homer House, which was also called the Belmont Mansion, that's located in Massachusetts, and his uncle owned it. The mansion is featured in a lot of Homer's earliest artworks as he was inspired by it. And then this is a picture of what the Homer House looks like today, and then this is a painting that Homer created himself. You can also tour this. And now we are in section 2, and I picked 3 of the artworks that I was going to examine. So this painting is Prisoners from the Front, created in 1866. The medium is oil on canvas, and the culture is American. Homer created this piece a year after the war had ended, with only 4 years of oil painting experience. This painting gained him a lot of recognition. This piece gave actual insight into the war, and this is why it became so popular. Pictured left are 4 Confederate soldiers captured by a Union officer on the right, and his name is Channing Barlow. The next painting that I chose was The Fox Hunt, and it was created in 1893. The medium for this painting is oil on canvas, and it is said to be Homer's greatest artwork, although it is not a part of what we usually associate Wilson Homer with, ocean scenes and marine subjects. This was also his first painting to enter into a museum collection, and this is how he began gaining financial security. This painting is located in Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. And then up here is a brief description of how Homer described his painting. In it midwinter of New England coast, the ground is deep with snow. A wrenched fox, driven from his lair by frost and famine, struggles through the heavy drifts in quest of food, and over him, circling nearer and nearer, as he grows weaker and weaker, come the ravens who soon pluck his bones. And then this is Nor'easter. It was created in 1895. Northeaster actually means where he created this painting in Maine. It means a bad storm creating a lot of damage. And this painting actually was originally created in 1895 and reworked in 1901. So this painting was actually done in 1901. I could not find the original painting. The original painting is said to have a smaller wave crash here and 2 men sitting on this platform. The medium for this painting is oil on canvas, and the culture is American. This was purchased by George Hearn, a collector of American artworks. Hearn later donated the piece to Metropolitan Museum. And then these are some of Homer's most notable sayings. The sun will not rise or set without my notice or thanks, as he always liked painting landscape paintings, and a lot of his paintings consist of sunsets and sunrises. When you paint, try to put down exactly what you see. Whatever you have to offer will come out anyway. And then the last quote is, life that I have chosen gives me my full hours of enjoyment. Winslow Homer did not see painting as a job or career. He saw it as a hobby, and he enjoyed painting. Homer's contributions, and we are now in section 3. Many of Homer's artworks can be found in galleries all around the world and the places in which he lived over the course of his life. Homer is also looked at as an influencer for the future generations of American painters. My personal perspective. Homer was an intelligent, gifted, passionate artist. He set the standard for those who follow in his art of choice. His works are universal, and can be inspiring, touching, meaningful to many different people. Homer created beautiful artworks that will continue to be relevant and understandable for generations to come. Homer created his work with the intent to give perspective or different outlooks to people. He also made his paintings from the things that he found remarkable and what he found beauty in. Winslow Homer's brother Charles eventually sold Winslow's final home and death place that is located in Maine, so that the future artist could explore where he spent his last years. Homer's home rests in Prouts Neck, Maine. Final thoughts. Winslow Homer was an American painter and named the greatest of the 19th century. He was an artist from all the sorts, such as watercolor, oil painting, illustration, and wood engraving. He created pieces in such a way that captured the beauty of natural things. He also made pieces that reflected on the day-to-day struggles of those who were pictured. Married to his work, Homer was very passionate about the life he had chosen for himself. Homer's legacy will live on for the years and generations to come. And then here are just another couple of paintings that I also enjoyed by Winslow Homer. And that is all.